Your website might sound good. It might even look good. But the fact of the matter is if it's not converting, there's a deeper problem happening. In today's video, I'm sharing 5 easy messaging shifts that you can make to help convert your browsers into buyers and what I would recommend looking into first as a copywriter who's been in this business for 2+ decades. Now, one of the first things that I would personally look into and recommend that you do as well is your brand voice. If it feels inconsistent from your brand visual design, if it feels inconsistent across platforms, if it's too formal, too stiff, if it sounds like ChatGPT wrote it, then yes, you're going to probably want to reevaluate. Now, the fact of the matter is you need a clearly defined brand voice to create a consistent experience across platforms for your audience, to draw them in and to help gain trust as well. People also connect with other people, and having a very distinct brand voice will help you stand out from the crowd. Now, this isn't something I want you to get in your head about. I know that saying brand voice can sound like this really abstract concept, but it really doesn't need to be. What you're going to want to do is make sure that it's consistent across platforms. So, if you're sassy and chatty and witty on Instagram, and then somebody goes to your website and it sounds super formal or super stiff, then they're going to have an inconsistent brand experience. So make sure that your voice and tone is consistent across platforms, and that also matches your visual branding. I see this mistake a lot as well when I work with my clients one-on-one, is that their branding might be very bold and very playful and very out there, and their copy doesn't reflect that. Or you might have the opposite problem, right? Maybe you have a super professional visual brand, but then it's very casual tone. You want to make sure that the branding experience as a whole is consistent with the visuals and is consistent across platforms. The next thing that you want to analyze and that I would recommend looking into is digging into your headlines and make sure that these are transformation focused. It should be drawing attention, but it is also designed to connect and convert. So the headline should be clearly communicating the transformation that you provide, not just the service or the course or whatever it is that they're getting. So yes, ChatGPT and headline templates can be helpful to this, but it's really important to put your own spin on this because only you are in your business and only you know the transformation that someone is going to get when working with you. Now, my pro tip to take this one step further is to have a bank of headlines that you can A/B test, because if something's not converting and you're not sure why and you're not sure what to tweak, one of the best places that you can start is tweaking your headlines. The next thing I would dig into if your website is not converting the way you expect it to is your offer messaging and seeing if it's simple and easy to understand. We all have a lot to offer, and especially as a business owner, you feel multi-passionate and you know about so many things. But the fact of the matter is that if your offers are not simplified, it can overwhelm the user experience. If someone lands on your website and they don't immediately understand what it is that you do, how you can help, and who you can help, you're already losing a potential customer. Your offer needs to be so simple and so clear that your audience looks at it and literally thinks, oh my God, this is exactly for me and this is exactly what I was looking for. Now, one of the easiest ways you can do this is to simplify your messaging so you're not diluting your offers, you're not spreading yourself thin, you're not trying to be a jack of all trades. This makes it so much easier for your reader to say yes, because then they understand, okay, this is what they do. She can help solve this very specific problem that I'm having. The next thing that I would dig into is your customer journey and auditing the journey and your calls to action. Your website should really be guiding the reader onto the next step. It should have them nodding their head saying, yes, I want to keep reading, or yes, I want to learn more, and guiding them on their whole experience. So it's something that you actually want to dig into and make sure that your people aren't getting stuck, that there's no questions, that they're not bouncing off because they don't really understand what the next step is or what to do next or how you can help them. Your calls to action and the journey on your site should really be guiding the reader on a very obvious path on what to do, how you can help, and how to work with you. The next thing I would dig into is actually less granular than the other tips on this list, and that is zooming out and analyzing your brand as a whole. So I come from an editorial background. I was a magazine editor for many, many years of my career, so I'm very used to analyzing both the visual and the graphic elements because they play together. It has to work together as a whole. And sometimes people do it piecemeal, which is okay, but you have to make sure that the graphic designs and the copy on it, and it's all this cohesive brand experience. It's really important to step back and ask, do the visuals, does the layout, does the voice and tone, does this all work together cohesively to present this full, beautiful brand experience? And now I know I mentioned a mismatch of aesthetics, that's definitely the biggest one to call out, but even other things that you might want to analyze, do you have giant walls of text? Are your menus and your headers on your website too cluttered? Is it too busy? How's your sidebar? Do you have ads on your sites? These are all things to look into when you're digging into why your website's not converting and trying to see and make sure that your copy experience and your visual experience are really working together. The reality is that a cohesive, truly aligned brand, both visually, your copy is magnetic and is really going to help draw in clients. Now, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, thinking, okay, like, yeah, I've got a lot of work to do, or this feels super overwhelming, or I don't even know where to start, good news is that you really don't have to do this alone. Honestly, most business owners are simply too close to their brand, and this is not unusual. It's hard to zoom out and pinpoint what the problems are and to see exactly what to fix without a second set of eyes, or at least a second opinion. Now, if you DIY'd your website copy and you're kind of sick of second guessing yourself, or your website's just not converting and you're not sure why, and you don't even know where to start, and this whole thing seems really overwhelming, it doesn't have to be that way. You can have a website that feels fully aligned, that feels authentic to you and your brand, and is bringing in sales 24/7 on your sleep. So you're not stuck on the social media cycle, posting Instagram post after Instagram post, barely getting any views and wondering why people aren't buying. And that's exactly what I help my clients with in my messaging makeover sessions. If you're ready to completely transform your messaging so you can start booking clients in your sleep, click the link below to learn more about the messaging makeover days. In these VIP copy audit days, we'll work together to refine your brand voice, strengthen your messaging, analyze your headlines, your calls to action, and make sure your copy and branding are working for you and not against you. You'll walk away with a website that not only feels aligned, but it also sounds like you and converts like crazy. The best part is this is a done with you experience, which means you'll not just polish copy, but you'll understand what's working and what's not, and be able to use that knowledge going forward for any other copy you're writing in your business. Since this is a one-on-one experience, space is limited. So if you're ready for your messaging to match the quality of your work, click the link below to learn more about the messaging makeover.